I'm going to take a little break from the regular programming that I do to talk about my favorite TV show, The Walking Dead. I'm going to talk about this show for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I do enjoy it. Number two, I have some concerns, and so let's get into it. I am not a big TV watcher. I like movies. I don't like TV shows. I like things that have a beginning and an end to them. But I am a big sucker for the zombie genre. Anything dystopian I like. Escape from New York, the Mad Max stuff, anything like that. I think it's interesting to see how people live in a society that's crumbled. And I've always liked zombies because they're funny. And usually like a zombie movie, when you watch it, it's like, okay, the zombie outbreak, and then at the end everybody dies. Or everybody dies but 3 people and you never see what happened to them. In this case, it just keeps going on and on and on, so it's interesting to see the zombie thing progress. It's interesting to see how people adapt and survive. I really dig that. And I wasn't expecting much when the show first came on, but quite frankly, the pilot episode was just art. It was beautiful. I've never seen anything zombie done that well. Now, typically when I watch something like this, I do have to suspend disbelief, of course, on a lot of things. But when The Walking Dead started, the only thing I really had to suspend disbelief with were the zombies themselves. I had, okay, well, obviously there are no zombies, but everything else was pretty believable that was happening. The first time something unbelievable happened was probably when they introduced the Michonne character at the end of season 2. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is pretty comic book. But I understand that the show is based on a comic book. And then season 3 rolls around, and they bring her in very clever. I like the character, because in the comic I think she was a little more over the top, samurai woman, whatever. In the TV show, they did a really nice job with it. Then the next concern I had was bringing in this governor character, who again was just a comic book over-the-top nightmare, to look at on his pictures. If you Google his image, you'll see he just looks kind of like a weird-looking pirate evil guy. But they did a nice job with that too. They were in a prison, which is an ideal place to be, I believe. However, I found it very odd that they didn't secure themselves in cells at night. You figure if they do that, if there's an outbreak somewhere on the grounds, they're protected for a minute. And if they turn into zombies in the night, they can't get out and eat everybody else. Things started getting weird when they introduced 2 characters, Abraham and Eugene. That's when they kind of brought Abbott and Costello in. Now, it wasn't bad enough that they brought these characters in from the comic book. They had to make Abraham's hair red because the guy in the comic book had red hair. And then they made Eugene kind of look like an adult version of Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. The shorts, the white socks, the black shoes, had a mullet, dark hair. And nothing this guy said sounded credible. Nothing at all. Yet, everyone believed him and followed him to Washington, D.C., because that's what they did in the comic. Speaking of, we're going to see this Negan guy, and the comic book fans have been masturbating over him for a long time, very excited that he's coming to the show. And I'm actually getting more nervous about him coming, because I think it's going to get even more over the top and more ridiculous. There are all kinds of cool things they could be talking about that they're not. Like how to better secure and fortify some kind of habitat. Where are the people who know how to drive earth-moving equipment? Where are the backhoe operators? Where are the excavators who could dig big holes? Where are the concrete workers? Where are the masons? Where are the steel workers and the welders and all of these people? We don't see them. These could be very useful people in some kind of zombie apocalypse, yet they don't exist. So I hope season 7 isn't just really going over the top with suspending disbelief to the point where it's a comic book, which I don't enjoy.